What is going on, my crazy 76er fanatics, guys? Thanks for stopping back in for another daily pod with your daily 76ers discourse discussion. The likers, the watchers, the commenters, and those subscribers. Thank you guys so much for helping this channel grow, the conversation flow, and keeping the Sixer discourse on the up and up. When you're talking about Philadelphia, you got to be talking drama because the city loves it and the team can't live without it. What is going on with Joel Embiid and the coaching staff? When there's smoke, there's fire. And right now, Joel Embiid is lighting a fire underneath the general manager, the head coach, and the owners, ASSS. Look what Joel said, guys. This was on April Fool's, and we all thought Joel Embiid was back. We all thought this was just another troll from the great. And look what it says. It says he was ruled out on April 1st. He thought it was a joke, and he doubled up the tweet in a non-joking manner saying, I guess they won't let me play basketball. It left all of media in a spiral, wondering if he was serious or not. And then this report came out, which let everyone know there was an issue going on with Joel and coaching staff. Nick Nurse confirmed that the team ruled out Joel Embiid out this morning after he was unable to make the team's film session. He then went to go see the doctor as the teams move forward with their prep for the Wizards. Now, this is a two-sided argument. On one side, you have a former MVP, one of the most productive, one of the most pivotal pieces on this team, not attending a film session. On the other hand, you have a great player in Joel Embiid not attending a film session for the Washington Wizards, one of the worst teams in the NBA currently. If Joel needs to attend a film session for the Washington Wizards so this team can win, they have bigger issues than we're even talking about. So I see where Joel's point is. I'm an MVP. I'm one of the most dominant currently. I'm still one of the most pivotal pieces on this offense, and this team doesn't necessarily win without me. Whether I go to a film session for the Wizards or not, we should win this game, and I should be able to play. I agree to that. And if you think this may be just Joel, he doubled up and talked about how frustrated, how furious, and how enraged he was that he wasn't able to play. Joel Embiid on being ruled out against the Washington Wiz, I was pissed off. I wanted to play basketball. I wasn't allowed to play basketball, and I think this is more of a question for Daryl Morey in terms of why he wasn't allowed to play basketball. This is a huge problem for Philadelphia. This is a huge problem in the locker room. It's a huge problem for Joel. First and foremost, Joel knows his owners. He knows who he works for. He knows who he plays for. He's plays for an owner in Josh Harris who prioritized getting underneath the salary limit so he was not taxed, okay? Josh Harris prioritized getting underneath the luxury tax so he didn't have to spend more money. And with Joel saying that his coaching staff, his owners, and his team did not allow him to play when he felt as though he was ready, willing, and able to play, he's trying to get these guys fined. He's trying to get the owners, he's trying to get the general manager, he's trying to get the Sixers organization fined for malpractice, which they have been fined for reporting injuries, not reporting injuries, and for malpractice prior to tip-off. They've been fined for this before. Joel Embiid not only taking this public to Twitter, but then re-emphasizing it again in a post-game interview lets everyone know there is beef, there is tension between Joel, between Daryl Morey, and between anyone else who makes these decisions, which I believe was Coach Nick Nurse. There's beef between Joel, there's beef between Nick Nurse, and there's beef between apparently Joel and the owner Josh Harris. Because if you know Josh Harris, you're not going to play with his money. You're not going to mess up his paper. He's not going to spend more than he's already agreed to spend. And what Joel is doing right here, saying that the team didn't allow him to play in an NBA era where player participation and load management is the biggest talking point and teams should be putting their best players out there each and every night. They're willing to play and able to play. Joel Embiid saying he was really ready, willing, and able, but wasn't allowed, is him throwing a direct jab at Josh Harris, Daryl Morey, and Nick Nurse. You guys are going to get fined. You guys not decide to go underneath the luxury tax. Some of that cheese, some of that coin, you're going to cough it up right here, right now. Here's a fine coming to you. I was able to play, they didn't let me. That's finable. That's a finable offense. That's everything this NBA is trying to combat. So the issue right here is that one, Joel feels as the team, the franchise, the owners, Daryl Morey, haven't made the best decisions surrounding his career. Whether it's the James Harden drama that he felt as though he was never really a part of, whether it's re-signing Paul George to a max contract, which he may not be in agreement of right now, which is whether it's the trading of Jared McCain, the handling of the Ben Simmons issues, the signing of Doc Rivers, the releasing of Doc Rivers, whatever Joel Embiid's issues are with the coaching staff and with the GM and with the owners, it has boiled over. This has gone on for some time. And right now, Joel Embiid is at his breaking point. The issue and the biggest issue with this right here is that he will get traded, okay? The moment you start messing with the powers that be, the moment you start commenting with the guy who writes your checks and signs your checks, you can expect your checks to look a little different. That's a fact on life, not the NBA. This is a fact on life. And right now, he's messing with the big dogs. He's messing with the paper signers. He's messing with the people who give him his money. And if he keeps messing around and underperforming, and his team underachieves, you can guarantee yourself Joel Embiid is going to be shipped off. Because right now he's being too chaotic, too troublesome, too much of a burden to handle. And for the GM, who again may be fined, could see some fines, or has to explain why he shouldn't be fined, he just may not be worth the headache at this point. So I'm concerned that Joel Embiid may be traded, will be traded. Guys, like, comment, and subscribe about that. That's exactly why I think Joel Embiid will or should or could get traded. The reason why he may not get traded, this team doesn't play well without him. That's a fact. This team doesn't do good without him. That's a fact. And with them, this team is gosh damn dominant. This is the last 4 games, guys. I should throw the 5th game in here. I apologize for this, but this is the last 4 games, subtracting their most recent appearance. They were 1st in offensive rating, 1st in points per game, 3rd in 3-point percentage, 4th in 3-pointers per game, and 5th in field goal percentage. With Joel, they play extremely well, guys. With Joel, they are extremely dominant. And with Joel, this team is way better than what they were before. Plus, the 6th seed is up for grabs, guys. You never thought this team would be in the conversation for the 6th seed, but it's up for grabs. They got to face San Antonio. They got to face the Houston Rockets. And then I think they should breeze through, coast through, and absolutely slaughter the Indiana Pacers and the Milwaukee Bucks. Maybe the Bucks have some problems. Maybe the Bucks have some issues. And maybe Doc Rivers wants to get one back against Philadelphia. That could be one of the toughest games out of the 2. But San Antonio and Houston, San Antonio doesn't necessarily need the win. Houston does need the win, so that's going to be a closely contested matchup. But they're fighting for the 6th seed with the Toronto Raptors, who, again, currently they are tied with the Toronto Raptors in record for the 6th seed, and they hold the tiebreaker. So, with the Raptors having a schedule that looks like this, Miami, which is going to be a good game. Miami again, which is going to be a good game. And then the Knicks on the second half of a back-to-back, which may be a good game, or maybe they just have tired legs to compete. As long as they tie those Raptors with the records, guys, in the standings, I think this team, I know this team will get the 6th seed. And I think this team will get the 6th seed because I think all you have to do in the remainder of 4 games is go 2-2. If Philadelphia is able, this is the Raptors. If Philadelphia, is able to beat San Antonio, Indiana, and Milwaukee, line up the 6th seed, wrap it up. If Sixers are able to beat Houston, Indiana, and Milwaukee, line up and wrap up the 6th seed. Because that's 3 out of 4 games, and I don't necessarily see the Toronto Raptors beating Miami, New York, and Brooklyn in 3 out of those 4 games. I do not anticipate it. I do expect Toronto to split the series with the Heat. Maybe get one over the Knicks, but probably not get one over the Knicks. And Brooklyn, they should coast through, breeze through, and demolish. But Miami may be able to get 2 in there. Miami may be able to get 2. Those Knicks should be able to get 1. Depending on what seed the Knicks are playing for, the Knicks should be able to get 1. But yes, the 6th seed is up for grabs, and currently the way it's placed and the way the standings are, the Sixers should be getting the 6th seed. Guys, like, comment, and subscribe. Should they get the 6th seed? Probably. You know what I'm saying? There's just a little projection. Guys, who should win Rookie of the Year? This is the conversation I've been waiting to get into. The leader for the Rookie of the Year votings and standings right now is Con Knipple. Running her up right now is Cooper Flagg. And right behind those fellas is VJ Edgecombe. Now, let me say this. I know basketball. You like basketball. But LeBron James lives, eats, breathes, and sleeps this game. And here's what he said. When he said, do you think Cooper Flagg should be Rookie of the Year? How are you feeling about this Rookie of the Year race? LeBron James gave the best answer possible. Looks like he loves the game, Cooper Flagg. It's a great rookie class. You look at VJ in Philly, look at Khan in Charlotte, look at Dylan in San Antonio. All of these guys are making an impact on their respective teams. So the league is in good hands. Not necessarily committing to who should win, not necessarily committing to who he's voting for, and also not committing to who's the best rookie of the year or the class. But here's what I'll say to LeBron. He's right. 4 of these guys are playing phenomenal in the class. 3 of these guys are playing winning basketball. 2 of these guys are in the starting lineup. And 1 of these guys had to lead his team throughout this season so they can make the playoffs and be able to contend for the playoffs. Start it over, guys. 4 Rookie of the Year candidates, only 3 starters. Or 4 Rookie of the Year candidates, only 3 in playoffs, only 2 starters, and only 1 has been a leader for his team. That 1 Rookie of the Year who has been a leader for his team that's in the playoffs has been VJ Edgecombe. In the absence of Maxey, in the absence of Embiid, in the absence of Paul George, the only thing this team has had was a VJ. He's been the bright spot. He's been the defensive creator, the defensive chaos bringer, and he's also been the best defender outside of Paul George on this team. On top of that, guys, if you want to look at and break down why Con Knipple can't be your Rookie of the Year, he's the 4th best player on his squad. VJ Edgecombe is the 4th best player on his squad. Con Knipple doesn't have any large defensive responsibilities. VJ Edgecombe has a huge defensive task on a night-in, night-out basis. Con Knipple and VJ Edgecombe average similar amount of points. Con Knipple makes more threes, but VJ Edgecombe has a lot more assists, has a lot more rebounds, has a lot more steals, and again, had a lot more pressure and responsibility on his shoulders, being the focal point of the offense in the absence of Maxey, Embiid, and Paul George. We don't know what Con Knipple does as a number 1 option. We don't know if Con Knipple is even suited or skilled enough to be the focal point of a defensive scheme. We do know VJ Edgecombe can handle the pressure and cook under that pressure. My Rookie of the Year right now, guys, I'm going VJ Edgecombe because I'm sick of winning basketball being neglected. If you're a rookie and you're playing for a winning team and in basketball games that matter in high-impact moments, you're in there and you're not only surviving but you're thriving, VJ Edgecombe and Con Knipple have to be the Rookie of the Years in my mind. And the reason you're taking VJ over Con is because he's more important, he's been more tried, he's been more tested, and he has not been as well rested. VJ Edgecombe has been under the microscope well more than what Con Knipple has faced this season. Rookie of the Year, VJ Edgecombe. Maybe ask LeBron, or like, comment, and subscribe, guys, because we're going to read those comments this week. We're going to get to those comments this week. And we're going to post those on stream, on screen. Like, comment, and subscribe because we're getting to it. We're getting to it. The playoffs, the postseason, and maybe the Eastern Conference Finals. Like, comment, and subscribe.